it's What Up Vlogs, and today we're doing a video on Patrick Beverley. Now, Patrick Beverley's an interesting story, because after getting drafted, he was sent down to the D-League. After the D-League, he kind of fell off the map and went to Europe. Nowadays, we know him as Patrick Beverley, the guy who started beef with Lonzo, but before that, we knew him as a two-way guard who could really score. He could shoot threes, he could defend, and he could just do everything that your team needed. He seemed to have star power, but really was never an all-star, but somebody that you would want on your team to help you win games. Kind of like Deshaun Stevenson, the guy who started beef with LeBron. He was pretty good. He was winning games for the Wizards, just was never really an all-star. So, yeah. But first, to know how we got here, we need to start from the beginning. In high school. So Patrick Beverley went to the high school of Marshall. He wore the number 21. And he was pretty good. In one game, he even dropped 40 points, which was a career high in high school. As you can see, he was more focused on offense back then, but was still he was still a good defender. He'd get steals, go on fast breaks, get dunks, get points. He was pretty good. And so he got some scholarships. Got some pretty good scholarships. Well, he got Division I scholarships, which really, any Division I scholarship is a good Division I scholarship. So, as his high school career went on, he continued to have big games. Pretty good player, like I said before. Really, no one could touch him. But scouts still had their doubts. Now, don't ask me why, but they just did. So, he committed to the University of Arkansas. Now, they aren't really known for their basketball. They're mostly known for hiring one of the worst coaches on earth, Bobby Petrino. But that's for football. And so, he played pretty good in college. He wasn't the best on his team, but still did pretty good. Enough to draw interest from NBA teams. And that's when, he declared for the draft, and he got picked up by the Houston Rockets. Probably one of his most notable games as a Houston Rocket was against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the 2017 series. Russell Westbrook's MVP year. But when he was on the Rockets, when he first got on the Rockets, like I said earlier, he got sent down to the D-League. And once he got sent down to the D-League, he left the D-League and went to play over in Europe. And he did pretty good in Europe. Just not exactly the best. You know, we see guys like Nate Robinson. Before he went to the Big Three, he was dropping 40 points in Europe every other day. It's kind of what Patrick was doing. But eventually, he got back on the Rockets, and he was pretty good. After Dwight left, him and Clint Capella were really the guys under James Harden. And he stayed there for a couple of years, but in the Chris Paul trade, he got sent over to Los Angeles. And we all know what happened there. He started beef with the one, the only, Lonzo Ball, in one of Lonzo's first games as a pro, and not a summer league game. So basically, throughout that game, Patrick just harassed Lonzo, fouled him for really no reason, and kind of gave him a hard time. Never really let him do anything, and Patrick just kind of lit him up. So that you could tell that Patrick wanted to get a piece of Lonzo, because he was probably one of the many NBA players who was just tired of LeVar. And sadly, that gets harnessed in the players towards Lonzo, and then Lonzo gets the hate. But this isn't a video about Lonzo. It's about Patrick Beverley. But yeah, he torched Lonzo that game. I think Lonzo had like 2 points or something like that. He didn't really do that much because Patrick was on him. He tore apart Lonzo. And again, this isn't a video about the Ball family, but they weren't exactly happy. They were not exactly happy with the way Patrick Beverley treated Lonzo. But still, the dude dominated against Lonzo. He wasn't afraid of him. So, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch if you watched it. And this season, Patrick was on the Clippers. And he's still, well, last season he was, and he was this season as well. And he did pretty good for them. He was probably one of their best defenders, if not the best defender on the team, and one of the top options for scoring. And I'm pretty sure if the dude stayed in the league for a lot longer and never went down to the D-League or Europe, he would definitely be an all-star today, but that just never really materialized. He's definitely one of the more underrated players, as last time he got attention was when he caused beef with Lonzo. I mean, in this game, he dropped 21 points on the Bucks with Giannis. He even helped set up Lou Will for the game winner. I mean, and just nobody cared? Wasn't in the news? Like, when you see somebody who's not an all-star usually drop that amount, it's usually all over the news or even around that area. But I mean, when you're a big market team like the Clippers, or just a team that's popular for being trash, well, like the Clippers, you'd expect that it would draw a little bit more attention and stand out a little bit more among the roster. But no, it really didn't. So, yeah. It's just kind of sad to see his career kind of not really fizzle out, just not really be there. That's really all I got. That's my video, Patrick Beverley. See you.